Good morning to our viewers locally, regionally, and internationally. My name is Joshua Harrow, and I'll be anchoring the seating of this prestigious parliament. Now, this is a very interesting parliamentary seating, and I'm going to give you a little detail as we talk about the power of the police, their potential, their disadvantages. What can we do to help de-escalate the crime situation? As we know, crime is something that we cannot completely eliminate, as it's an issue that is being plagued through St. Lucia, through the region, and through the entire world. So our youth parliamentarians have gathered here to have a wonderful discussion as it relates to the power of the police, how to de-escalate crime, and how to mitigate a lot of the situations here in St. Lucia. It is essential for our young people to come and talk about these pressing issues because a lot of the criminal activities that are being done is by our young people. So we need to see how we can best eliminate these issues, manifest a proper manifesto for our governments as pending elections are due, and discuss the pertinent issues, not just criticizing the police, but providing them with the essential tools necessary to develop our nation. So as we prepare for this sitting, we have many prominent members of government, stepping into the chambers really, to see, to hear, and to discuss with our young people one-on-one as to the issues that they are facing, and as well as how to mitigate these issues on hand. So it is essential for us to have this discussion today. Many of you know, many of you have felt the repercussions of crime. Many of you do not feel safe on the streets of St. Lucia. Many of you don't even feel safe when you travel because you are always aware that there is something going on. And too often our young people are put into the corner when it comes to these issues and there is no discussion about it. So it's essential today that Parliament is being governed in February. It's also known as Black History Month around the world, where our young leaders, potential leaders, future candidates and parliamentarians come to sit in to discuss these issues, and it is essential for prospective candidates, current government members to come and sit to hear the young people, to design policies around the solutions that they are, proposing, as we should say. So please stay tuned, please be educated about these matters, do your research, come down in the comments, be respectful to one another, cheer on these young people because there's a little bit of nerves in the air, there's a little bit of tension in the air because our young people are quite nervous as they're sitting in the official chambers where bills are passed and when the parliamentarians display themselves to the world to conduct business for St. Lucia. So it is a very nerve-wracking time for a lot of them as many are reoccurring and some are new. So let's cheer on our young people, let's listen to them, let's hear them out, let's talk about the policies. You yourself can even put solutions within the comment sections and participate in this discussion because it is essential for that everyone gets involved when it comes to mitigating crime. We cannot do this by ourselves and we cannot, let's say, act only in our own interest but the interest of Helen. So we have a few statements by the Speaker of the House for this crisis. We have the Honorable Kenton Casimir, who's in the chambers, welcoming the young people.
Go ahead. If he looks like a sportsman, he's not, just for the record. There's a few housekeeping notes.
Now it is essential that our youth politicians are here too because many young people tend to view politics as a bad thing, but it's actually a good thing because it's the way to get to this country. So it's nice that we can have our youth parliamentarians come in to give some encouragement to our young people. So St. Lucia, this is a very interesting discussion. We're going to require you to join us. Crime is a pertinent issue upon this planet.
If you wish, you can have a podium, if you wish. I got a couple of calls from Trinidad and Tobago this morning. Members of Parliament from Trinidad and Tobago will be taking this in live, so you guys have to be on your best behavior. Other parliaments are watching, because youth parliament is a big thing. We have had several members, as I told you last week, not necessarily from the youth parliament, but certainly from the National Youth Council, who have become parliamentarians. Chief among them, the current Chief Justice, the Honorable Mario Michel, was from the NYC. Alva Baptiste, Sean Edward. Minister, were you in the NYC? You're not sure? Okay. But it's a stepping ground It is not something to be trivialized. Let me repeat what I told you last week. You are now seated in the most powerful chairs in the country. Every law that is made in St. Lucia is made from these chairs. Every tax you pay is started here. Every tax break you get begins here. The laws which governed your school time were made here. Everything begins here. Treat the room with the respect it deserves. It is no longer a situation where it was just you and me, as it was last week. The entire Caribbean and outside of the Caribbean are watching you today. So make St. Lucia proud, and good luck to each and every one of you.
A wonderful speech by Claudius Francis. It's aware that the entire region is going to be watching this Senate sitting, well, this parliamentary and Senate sitting. So it's essential that our young people be on their best behavior. But from what I'm seeing, they're going to do very well, and they're going to be very exciting. We also have the President of the Senate with us, Alvina Reynolds, who will be uttering a few words.
Good morning, MPs, and good morning to our visitors, our guests in the gallery. Good morning to you and welcome. Students of the Cicero Secondary School and other guests, good morning to you and your teachers. Good morning to Minister Kenson Casimir and Senator Emma Charles and other guests from the PS from the Ministry of Youth Development and Sports, other guests, teachers, etc. Let me welcome you on behalf of the Senate, which is the upper house in Parliament. I welcome you this morning to this very, very interesting discourse. I know your team members are downstairs ready to go, and so I want to wish you a very productive, successful sitting. Today, I know it's the lower house. We'll be debating, and tomorrow followed by the upper house. All of you, I want to wish you wisdom, confidence, poise, respect, dignity in your deliberation, in how you analyze what is being said by your opponents, that you pick up the important points, because you're not only speaking to the presiding officer, you are speaking to your colleagues in the house, in the gallery, and more importantly, the people of St. Lucia. They are listening to you. The young people of St. Lucia will be listening to you. This will be played over and over again. And so a lot of eyes will be on you, your perspective, and you have to represent the young people of this country. What you say is very important. Don't think because this bill has passed, it now become an act that it is not important. What you say to us as policymakers, as legislators, it is very, very important. Okay? Your contributions matter. You are not the leaders of tomorrow. Let me remind you. You are leading today. Okay? You are leaders of today. That's why you are seated here. Okay? And you have analyzed, you have looked at the bill, you have assessed it, you have critiqued it, and you're about to give your comments. You are a leader, a youth leader today. So once again, I'm very pleased to see the number of young ladies in here. We always look for women in the elective politics, women in leadership. Let me see the ladies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 out of 17 are females, which is a good representation for the House. Let's hear it for the girls. I love this gentleman. He actually pounded the table for the girls. Okay. So again, wishing you a very successful sitting, and I look forward to hearing your contributions. All the best.
Very powerful words by the President of the Senate, Alvina Reynolds. As our young people now gear up to have their discussion, We will begin shortly as we have our upcoming throne speech by the Youth Governor General Jada Marie. So we ask that you stay tuned with us, that you join the discussion once again, that you encourage our young people as we begin this parliamentary sitting.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. President, Honorable Prime Minister, Leader of the Opposition, Honorable Members of the House and Senate, and my fellow St. Lucians. Today, I stand before you with a profound sense of purpose and hope as we deliberate on a matter critical to the safety of and future of our beloved nation: the designation of the crime escalated area under the Suppression of Escalated Crime Police Hours Act, dated 2023. This legislation is a vital step in addressing the wave of violence that has affected our communities and safeguarding the values that bind us as a people. First, allow me to acknowledge the progress we have made as a nation. Our resilience and collective spirit have enabled us to overcome challenges, and today, I commend every citizen for their dedication to building a better St. Lucia. Our people, young and old, are the heart of our nation, and it is their aspirations and well-being that guide our policies. Crime and violence, however, threaten the very fabric of our society. They erode our morals, disrupt our communities, and cast a shadow over the future of our youth. This is not just a challenge for the government. It is a challenge for every St. Lucian. When crime escalates, it leaves no one untouched. Families grieve, businesses suffer, and our collective sense of security is undermined. The Suppression of Escalated Crime Police Powers Act empowers law enforcement to respond decisively in areas where crime has reached critical levels. By designating specific regions as escalated crime areas, we equipped our police officers with the tools they need to restore order and safety. These measures include the ability to establish roadblocks, question individuals, and access private property when necessary. Officers of higher rank can also close establishments temporarily and enforce directives concerning firearms and explosives. These provisions are not taken lightly. They are a solemn acknowledgement of the urgency to protect lives and uphold the rule of law. Let us not forget that our police officers are also citizens of this nation. They are mothers, fathers, sons, and daughters who face the same fears and hope as the rest of us. It is our responsibility to ensure that they have the resources and support necessary to carry out their duties effectively and return safely to their families. This legislation is a testament to our commitment to their safety and to the safety of every St. Lucian. As we implement this act, we must remain vigilant in upholding the principles of justice and accountability. Enhanced police powers must be exercised with the utmost integrity, ensuring that individual rights are respected and that trust between law enforcement and the community is strengthened. This balance is essential to the success of our efforts. While enforcement is critical, it is not the sole solution. We must also invest in prevention and rehabilitation. This means providing educational opportunities, fostering community programs that teach conflict resolution, and promoting a culture of mutual respect and understanding. By addressing the root causes of crime, we can create a society where every young person has the chance to thrive, free from the shadow of violence. The Suppression of Escalated Crime Act is more than a tool for enforcement. It is a declaration of our vision for St. Lucia. It is a commitment to creating a nation where every citizen feels safe, where our youth can dream without fear, where communities can flourish. Together, we build a future that honors the values we hold dear: respect, unity, and justice. In closing, I urge us all to approach this session with a spirit of collaboration and resolve. Let us remember that the decisions we make today will shape the St. Lucia of tomorrow. By working together, we can ensure that our beautiful island remains a beacon of hope and opportunity for generations to come. With this vision in mind, it is my honor and privilege to declare this parliamentary session open. May our deliberations be guided by wisdom, compassion, and a shared commitment to the prosperity and security of St. Lucia. Thank you.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, thus begins the seating of Youth Parliament 2025. The throne speech given by the Youth Governor General is a very impactful one, a powerful one, and a statement to all of us that we must be vigilant, act in accordance to let her inspire you and rebuild St. Lucia into what it can possibly be. The young people are preparing their statements. Members of cabinet have appeared. We have Deputy Permanent Secretary for the Ministry of Youth and Sports, members of Senate and other members of the House who are here. We also have a few senators, youth senators, for the next seating tomorrow, joining us for this seating here today. So it's going to be one that is filled with excitement. It's going to be one that's filled with engagement. So we ask that you cheer them on to help facilitate this discussion. The Powers Act for the police is one where we really need to discuss and assess so that we can see where we can go in the fight against crime. These issues are not deteriorating anytime soon, and we cannot continue to have conflict between citizens and law enforcement as we try to combat the issues that are affecting us today. It is essential that we exercise our due diligence as youth parliamentarians, as youth politicians, as citizens of St. Lucia to help mitigate a lot of these issues that we are facing, to have a safer St. Lucia, and to make sure that our children and our grandchildren can have an island they call home without the fear of leaving the house and feeling as though they will be attacked. So as we get ready for the seating here today, we ask you to remain vigilant and be safe in your communities wherever you are listening to this, whether it be via radio, via Facebook, on television. And we ask that you listen attentively, though you know we may have our opinions and we may critique. For a lot of young people, again, this is their first time. So we do ask that you listen well, you give them a chair wherever you are, you celebrate them for their courage, you celebrate them for this discussion, as it is not an easy thing for them to do. And remember that when we discuss politics, we discuss policy. that we should never be one to be neutral. We must always be one to hear and listen to the policymakers and be able to speak out as citizens. For the highest governing board in St. Lucia is you as the citizens, to make sure that things are going according to plan and everyone is held accountable to the T. We must ensure that we support our policymakers, and we must criticize them without rudeness and bashing them. We must criticize if we do not agree, and we must celebrate if we do. So as we begin this session, we will rise to introduce the Parliament.
Let us pray. O Lord of everything, bless us young people for the future in our hands. They carry in their hearts a great hope. Make them strong and pure so that they can build the tomorrow with confidence. Let them receive freely the gift of faith, accept it with gratitude, and develop it with generosity. Amen. Good morning, members. I have received correspondence from the member for Soufrière and Lavery that they will not be able to attend this sitting. Okay? No announcements. Prime Minister, Minister for Finance.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to move the first reading of a bill shortly entitled Suppression of Escalated Crime, Police Powers.
Suppression of Escalated Crime, Police Powers Act 2023.
Honorable members, the question is that Standing Order number 48-2 be suspended in order to allow the Honorable Prime Minister to proceed with the remaining stages of this bill. I now put the question. As many as of that opinion say aye. As many as of the contrary opinion say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Leave is granted. Proceed, Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to present for second reading a bill shortly entitled Suppression of Escalated Crime, Police Powers.
Suppression of Escalated Crime, Police Powers Act 2023.
Mr. Speaker, Part 1 of the bill describes the designation of an escalated crime area as well as the order for designation of an escalated crime area. Part 2 of the bill states the police powers for suppression of escalated crime. It gives the police power to stop a person, power to block a road or set up a cordon, power to require removal of a vehicle or other article, power to access land or a building, power to close a premises, power to give directions for control of firearms, ammunition, and explosives, power to control places of public resort and entertainment, and protection of police officers. Part 3 of the bill, Mr. Speaker, describes the offenses for suppression of escalated crime and detention. Offenses relating to public property, offenses relating to trespass to public property, offenses relating to respect to the roads, offenses with respect to assault and detentions of persons. Part 4 of the bill, Mr. Speaker, describes the arrangement with outside security forces, penalties, and regulations. Mr. Speaker, it is with heavy hearts that we are here today, and we regret to acknowledge the increase in gun violence and homicides in the recent years, especially from 2019 to present. Mr. Speaker, I believe that there is a need for unity within the House. And in fact, not just within the House, but within St. Lucia, as crime is not an issue that we could tackle by ourselves, and it is not an issue that we could solve with just one policy. We need to stick together, Mr. Speaker. I'd also go further to say that the opposition members would not agree that crime is an increasing problem in St. Lucia. Is not just opposition to us as a youth governing party, but opposition to the country itself, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the first step to dealing with a problem that arises, especially a problem of such grave severity, is to first acknowledge its existence. We cannot tackle a problem that we have not properly acknowledged its severity and existence. Mr. Speaker, this bill here provides a framework to protect the public order, public safety, and economic stability of St. Lucia. Mr. Speaker, this framework provides structure, guidance, and a systematic approach to solving problems, making decisions, and accomplishing tasks. This bill establishes that systematic structure by laying out the intricacies in the powers vested into the St. Lucia Royal Police Force. The bill, Mr. Speaker, is aimed at the purpose that after operations, through its power, after operations with its power, will have reduced the number of cases of crime within an area and would have significantly dropped or completely diminished instances of crime within that specific crime escalated area. It will also strengthen the capacity of the force to deal with escalated crime in St. Lucia. Increasing police powers, Mr. Speaker, can potentially decrease crime through several mechanisms. Number one, improve detection and response. Mr. Speaker, the greater police powers will give the police the ability to detect and respond to crime and other criminal activities within a more timely manner. This will involve more effective surveillance systems, more comprehensive investigations, and thus lead to more arrests. Mr. Speaker, this bill encourages proactive policing. Enhanced powers allows the police to engage in proactive measures such as stop and frisk, preventative detention, and other strategies stopping crime before they occur. Mr. Speaker, this bill gives the police powers through enhanced deterrence. When the police have greater powers, Mr. Speaker, it shows to the wider community that there are penalties for wrongdoings in society. The perceived risk of getting caught and punished will decrease the chances of criminal activities taking place. This heightened deterrence discourages individuals from engaging in illegal activities, Mr. Speaker. It provides stronger legal tools, such as the power to seize as well as conduct undercover operations, Mr. Speaker. These tools can gather crucial evidence, dismantle criminal frameworks, as well as apprehend suspects more effectively. And Mr. Speaker, we know that this bill can't stand alone. So this youth government is also working on improved resource allocation to help the police further. This includes advanced technology such as surveillance systems, Mr. Speaker, implementing more sophisticated surveillance technology such as high-definition CCTV cameras along the streets of St. Lucia, Mr. Speaker, automated license plate readers, drones. These can help monitor high-crime areas, Mr. Speaker, more effectively and provide crucial evidence for investigations. We are also looking into data analytics. Using predictive data measures can help identify crime hotspots and real-time data sharing platforms to help communication amongst the police force, Mr. Speaker. We are also looking at specialized training, providing officers with advanced training in areas such as cybercrime, forensics, crisis negotiation, and community policing can improve their ability to handle a wide range of criminal activities. ongoing education programs for the police officers, Mr. Speaker. As we know, as crime also evolves, so must the way we educate our police officers to deal with it. Hiring more police officers, Mr. Speaker. Increasing the number of police officers can help reduce response times, improve patrolling efforts, and ensure more visible police presence in communities. Mr. Speaker, this combats not only crime, but the issue of brain drain that we are suffering in this country by providing employment. And I'd just like to point out that this shows the versatility of this youth government. By killing two birds with one stone, we are mitigating crime as well as providing employment for the youth of St. Lucia, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, further, we'll also have specialized units such as anti-gang task force, drug enforcement teams, and cybercrime divisions, as this focused expertise can provide better response times for specific crimes. Enhanced equipment, Mr. Speaker. As technology advances, it is not only accessible to the government, Mr. Speaker, but also to the criminals. We need to protect our police force. This includes lethal and non-lethal weapons, as certain situations require certain levels of severity. We can't just come into every situation with big guns. We need to have also non-lethal weapons such as pepper sprays, maces for minor occurrences. Upgrading the vehicles, Mr. Speaker. All-terrainers. A lot of enterprises are located in places that are non-accessible by vehicle. We need to provide our officers with, with infrastructure that will also enable them to adjust to the specific situations of the crime that they are dealing with. Mr. Speaker, we are also encouraging community engagement by putting in works programs that can help police officers form bonds with people of communities. Through this, we are also looking to erect new police stations in various communities, while also improving the infrastructure, mainly the roads, to decrease response times. Mr. Speaker, there are plenty of instances where a crime would happen and you'd ask somebody, what did you do about it? Why didn't you call the police? Oh, they take too long to come. By the time it happens, it's all done. There's no way to find the person. Mr. Speaker, this government, this youth government, is focusing on fostering relationships with the community and the police force to ensure that there is better communication for improved response times in crimes. We are also looking at partnerships, collaborating with local businesses, schools, community organizations in order to create a more integrated approach to preventing crime and solving crime. Mr. Speaker, we are also looking to improve our forensic laboratories. This is a major hindrance in solving crime in St. Lucia. We have a forensic laboratory which is not properly equipped. We also need the personnel. This is an area that we are going to invest in heavily, Mr. Speaker, for the reason that you can't stop crime completely. However, we need to show results and show the people that we are looking into it and that we are making efforts to bring the criminals to justice, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we are also working on mental health and wellness support programs, not for just the citizens of St. Lucia, but for the police officers as well. As you know, an important indicator of how well a facility performs is the health of its human resources. We need to ensure that the police, as well as our citizens of St. Lucia, have accessible counseling to deal with the daily pressures of the work as well as the wider society. Mr. Speaker, I look around and I see the future of St. Lucia. And I know for a fact that nobody here can deny that we are in a crisis. And we need to do something immediately. The issue of crime runs deep, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Prime Minister, you have 2 minutes remaining.
The issue of crime runs deep, Mr. Speaker. We need to come together and unite to fight the good fight against crime and make this country a safer place for us, our parents, brothers and sisters, and more importantly, the youth looking up to us on this stage, Mr. Speaker. We were trusted with these seats by the people of St. Lucia, and we cannot, as this youth government, let them down, and neither can we as the opposition fail to represent the people who put us in these seats. Mr. Speaker, I'm very confident that everybody here knows that the right thing to do is pass this bill. And anything contrary would just show us which side that you are on. Are you for the people or against the people? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Member for Vieux-Fort North.
As I address this honorable house, I wish to remind us of a quotation by Seneca. He who does not prevent crime, when he can, encourages it. Mr. Speaker, I wholeheartedly support the bill entitled Suppression of Escalated Crime, Police Powers, because I understand the urgency and the severity of the situation. This legislation addresses the immediate dangers that we face and lays the groundwork for a safer St. Lucia. As the minister tasked with national security, it is my responsibility to address the escalating crime situation, particularly by advancing legislation to suppress crime with enhanced police powers. Today, I will outline the profound effects of escalated crime on citizens, particularly in my beloved Vieux-Fort North, elucidate the key provisions of the bill, and highlight other actions my ministry will undertake to combat crime effectively. Mr. Speaker, che mwen ka fe mwen mal. My heart aches because I have witnessed firsthand the debilitating effects of crime on my constituents in Vieux-Fort North, from broken families to disrupted livelihoods. It pains me to revisit the horrendous dates of March 9th to March 11th of 2023. According to the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, during this period, an astounding 7 localized homicides were recorded in the town of Vieux-Fort. This wave of violence evoked fear, shock, tension, panic, and bewilderment in many St. Lucians, as recounted by community members who vividly recall the traumatic events of these days. The escalated crime in Vieux-Fort South had severe consequences for the people of Vieux-Fort North. First, there have been significant negative impacts on the educational development of our youth. Many children from Vieux-Fort North attend secondary and tertiary schools in Vieux-Fort. Due to the heightened crime, they miss days of school. Mr. Speaker, imagine yourself as a student sitting in a classroom, hearing the terrifying sound of automatic gunfire from warring gangs nearby. How can we expect our youth to focus on building their futures under such conditions? This is not just an educational issue, but a crisis affecting our nation's stability. This scenario underscores the gravity of the situation. Moreover, the economic impact has been dire. our hard-working farmers and vendors from Vieux-Fort North who rise at dawn to sell their fresh produce in Vieux-Fort were too terrified to venture out. Their livelihoods were significantly disrupted. In a candid conversation with a constituent, they shared, "I'm afraid to go to the pond in Vieux-Fort to get my fresh fish. Even buying fish, something so casual, was affected by the increase in gun violence." Mr. Speaker, this is cause for grave concern. Bagay move. Things are bad and we need to act decisively. If this bill is not implemented now, when will it be? Do we need more homicides to spur us into action? Mr. Speaker, I appeal to all members of this youth parliament to set aside differences and unite in support of this critical legislation. The time for partisan hesitation has passed. Our communities are watching, and inaction only emboldens those who threaten us. While some may choose to prioritize political grandstanding over progress, I urge us all to put the safety of our citizens first. Our youth, business owners, and communities are counting on us to take decisive action. Crime and violence have disproportionately affected our youth. According to the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, over the past decade, 397 young lives were lost to murder, accounting for 66% of total murders during this period. Compared to previous decade, this marks a troubling escalation, emphasizing the need for immediate intervention. These statistics are both alarming and heartbreaking. The purpose of this bill is to establish a framework to protect public order, safety, and economic stability, effectively address escalated crime within specific areas, and strengthen the capacity of the force. It empowers our police officers, whom I deeply commend for their dedication and sacrifices. Many officers miss time with their families and endure cancelled vacation to ensure our safety. Yet, we must remember that they are human beings, not superheroes. They need adequate resources to perform their duties effectively. This bill provides them with additional powers such as 1. Powers to stop and search, Section 7. Police officers are authorized to stop individuals within designated escalated crime areas to ascertain their identity and purpose. Roadblock and cordons, Section 8. Officers can block roads and set up cordons to control movement, enhancing their ability to manage crime scenes and prevent further incidents. Access to premises, Section 10. The bill grants police the authority to access land or buildings where they believe a serious offense has been, is being, or is about to be committed. Closure of premises, Section 11. Police can close premises associated with escalated crime, preventing their use for unlawful activities. Once a police officer acts in good faith and in accordance with this bill, they are protected from legal actions related to their duties and the opposition on orders. For those concerned about potential abuse of powers, let me emphasize that St. Lucia's Constitution includes provision for complaints against police officers through the Police Complaints Unit. This legislation will only be applied when the Minister for National Security declares an area as an escalated crime zone based on transparent criteria and in consultation with law enforcement, community leaders, and other relevant stakeholders. The duration and boundaries would be determined in such consultations. Such decisions will be informed, rational, and evidence-based. It is not a tool for arbitrary enforcement, but but a necessary measure to address urgent threats. So, Mr. Speaker, this bill does not aim to target any community. What we must appreciate about this bill is it could be applied to anywhere there is escalated crime, whether it is Vieux Fort, Micoud, Castries, and Slurry. Beyond this bill, my ministry is committed to implementing further actions to combat crime while continuously monitoring and refining these measures. Our vision extends beyond immediate relief. We strive for a St. Lucia where every citizen feels safe and has the opportunity to thrive. The Honorable Prime Minister has mentioned a lot of the areas that we will work on, but I'd like to reiterate some of the actions taken by this ministry include increasing police manpower. Research indicates that a visible police presence deters criminal activity. We will recruit and deploy additional officers to enhance community safety. Equipping law enforcement, providing military-grade weapons, drones, bulletproof vests, and body cameras will enable our officers to address sophisticated criminal activities effectively.
You have 5 minutes left to conclude your presentation.
Rehabilitation programs. We will allocate additional funds for rehabilitation and reintegration programs at facilities such as the Bodily Correctional Facility and the Boys Training Center, aiming to reduce recidivism. Enhanced training officers. Officers will receive training in de-escalation techniques, community policing, crisis intervention, intelligence gathering, cybercrime, forensic, and social media monitoring to adapt to evolving crime trends. Community engagement. Collaborating with the Ministry of Equity, we will expand crime and violence interruption programs, offer life skill trainings, and implement mentorship initiatives for at-risk youth. Education partnerships. Working with the Ministry of Education, we will organize after-school programs and employ school attendance officers to support troubled youth, keeping them engaged and away from criminal influences. Mr. Speaker, addressing crime requires a multifaceted approach that combines immediate actions with a vision for long-term safety and stability. While this bill cannot solve all our problems, it is a pivotal first step towards reclaiming our communities and ensuring a brighter future for generations to come. Let history not remember us as those who hesitated, but as leaders who rose to the challenges of our time. Combating crime is a shared responsibility involving the government, police, and citizens. We cannot allow our beautiful St. Lucia to be consumed by crime. This legislation is imperative for addressing escalated crime and restoring safety and stability. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Member for Micoud North. Members, we are experiencing some trouble with the mics. Yeah, technical difficulties. So we might have to suspend for 5 minutes. Okay? Members, the question is that the Honorable House be suspended for 10 minutes. As many as of that opinion, say aye. As many as of the contrary opinion, say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it. Sitting suspended.
Despite this short intermission, ladies and gentlemen, you have heard from the Prime Minister and the Minister for National Security on their plan. This is a very well thought out deliberation process because the young people have a lot to say. So we ask that you stay tuned with us as we organize and get the ball rolling once again for this very interesting and impactful discussion as it relates to police, crime, and so many topics in between to help develop our nation. So stay tuned, make sure that you join the discussion, make sure that you interact, make sure that you are part of what's happening here today, because despite what you may see around you, the young people are here to present some solutions, have an interesting topic of discussion, and make sure that you are well informed about the act and what has been written and what is being done. So we ask that you stay tuned as we go on a 10-minute break, and we'll be right back with this interesting discussion.
infrastructure, connectivity. And we have to work together, because I just want to share, and the minister is right here, I have whispered it to him, and I think he will buy into it, that we have plans to upgrade Babono to a town or a village.